you know, thinking back to like where I come from and like how did I get here? Like it's really extraordinary, you know. I don't for a minute you don't get used to it and you don't forget.
What's up, MuchMusic? Sade here, and on today's episode of Much Vault, we are taking it all the way back to 2006, around the time that Gwen Stefani released her second solo album, The Sweet Escape. Gwen links up with Sarah Taylor to talk everything from music, her creative process, touring, and becoming a mom. Let's check it out.
So weird to see all those old things.
What do you think about when you see those old photos?
It's like it makes me go, I don't know. It makes me happy, but it makes me like freak out a little bit because time went so quick.
Yeah, is that how you feel?
Mm-hmm. Are we starting?
Yeah.
I'm like,
sorry.
shit. I'm like, are we like, okay, action.
Sorry.
No, it's weird. It's like, and also coming back to Canada again. I mean, honestly, the tour that I just did here was the best shows, and I'm not just saying it. It was the best shows of the tour were like in Canada, Edmonton, and incredible shows like
Montreal and Toronto.
amazing.
Cool.
So it's just fun to be back here again. I feel so loved when I come here.
That's true, actually, no doubt, and your solo stuff as well too is really huge. So what made the crowds in Toronto feel good?
They just totally free and expressive and ready to just let loose and not jaded and not just ready to really just come out and have a good time. I mean, the thing is when you're on tour, you have to imagine that you're doing it every night and it's kind of monotonous in a way, but what keeps it really amazing is the audiences. And that's like, I go out on tour to get entertained by them, you know? It's all about them. It's all about if they're good, then I'm good. And if they're bad, then I suck. So it's like when I come out and they make me feel like just bigger than life, you know, and it just makes the whole thing go to a whole nother place. And the best memories are those shows from the Canadian shows.
That's awesome. At the end, though, I think you were in Canada near the end of your tour, or
yeah.
You had announced that you were pregnant, though, and I remember everyone who was going to the show was like, "Oh my God, like, is she okay?" And like everyone was feeling for you that you had to sort of perform and do that kind of grueling schedule night after night.
It was really like not a good idea, and it wasn't my idea. It just happened, and then the tour came, and I found out when I was in rehearsals. I was like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? I mean, I'm so grumpy, and then I found out I was pregnant. I just thought I would be able to do it. I didn't really think much about it, and I mean, of course, I was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant, but I didn't think it was going to affect the tour, but it was really hard. I was so tired and sick and all the things that you get. And
like morning sickness on the road? Did you have that?
I had morning. I wasn't really puking up like you do. I did a couple times, but it was just, you feel really nauseous. And I was like, could you imagine, like I had 9 costume changes, so I'm like trying to like fit into these corsets and tiny shorts, and like they kept having to like add little panels, like you can see these like triangle panels that they added on, and just makes you feel really not so cute. And even though like obviously I know that happens when you get pregnant. When you're pregnant, I don't know, you don't have the same kind of you're a little crazy, so you're
hormones.
Yeah, so it's hard to like, even though you know you're supposed to be getting bigger, it's like it's a weird thing. So it was really traumatic, but the shows were incredible. We also got one of the cars got in an accident on the way to one of the Canadian shows. Our truck like flipped like 3 times, and all of our equipment got like thrown out into the snow, and it was like, I don't know how we ended up pulling it all together. Even with all of that production being kind of ruined, the shows were still the best shows of the tour, which is bizarre, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To like have half of the equipment like in the snow, but still great, yeah. Well, it wasn't us, it was the audience, but.
So we were talking before about how quickly you pulled everything together because you just finished the record and now you're promoting it all over the world. I want to know, this time last year there were rumors about you postponing the second record, but how did you get the energy?
Well, I just think I had like a couple leftover tracks. There was a song called Wonderful Life, and You Started It, that were just kind of sitting in my computer. And then I had gone down to Miami. Pharrell called. He's like, come down and write some songs. I'm like, I never do that, just go write to write. I always write because I have a record coming out or I'm working to do something. But I kind of just went down there for fun. And we wrote like Winded Up, Breaking Up, and Orange County Girl. So it was like, I practically had a record already, and I thought that I could put it out last Christmas. I was like, oh, I just need a couple more songs, I can do it. And I think I was on that high of that last album. I was just, you know, it was a really incredible experience, being able to like kind of indulge my theatrical side and like make a really happy, uplifting, silly album. It was a really fun project for me, and I didn't want it to stop. So I was like, I can do another one real fast, you know. And then I got Kingston, so I had to put it on hold. And then actually when I was pregnant, I went in the studio. I thought, okay, I'm off tour now. I can just be lazy, but maybe I'll try to write some songs. You know, you never know. And kind of said to myself, I'll go in, and if I'm not having fun doing it, I'm not going to do it. And I went in with Tony, and we ended up writing a couple songs that ended up on the album, but at the time, we didn't realize they were good. And so I wrote for about 2 weeks, and I was like, this is not happening. I ended up just like eating and watching TV for like the rest of the pregnancy.
But you need that though, right?
No, it was it was amazing. It was like, it was what you're supposed to do. I mean, you're already creating something. Why are you going to try to create more? It's like, it's hard to concentrate. It's like this amazing miracle is happening to you. So
how many of the tracks were inspired by Kingston then?
I had a couple songs that I'd written with him in it, but one of them didn't make the record. I have it still. I just didn't know. I put Early Winter on instead of that. It's like, you know, you have to choose at the end of the day. Like, you write so many songs, and then whatever feels right, you know, I don't know, just makes the album at the end of the day. And then Don't Get It Twisted that song's about getting pregnant, so
Right.
he's kind of in that one.
You become sort of really famous for writing these really personal autobiographical songs, and there's a lot of songs about relationships, past relationships that you had, so like Ex-Boyfriend or Don't Speak. So then given that, then how closely can fans read into a song like Early Winter?
Well, it's weird because normally, I guess, I do write more kind of confessional, like emotional songs, but on the last album, the whole idea of it was to kind of not do that and like write these kind of dance tracks that didn't have that much depth. And I think this time, when I went in to write, I didn't have the same inspiration as the last record. Like, I wasn't looking to write like a straight up dance record. I definitely wasn't like doing that 80s dance inspired thing. Like, musically, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And it was really kind of really fast. It was like after I had Kingston, I went back in, and it was like I didn't really have a real focus. I just went in and wrote songs. So I guess that was me being more me, like more what I normally do, which is just write from my heart and whatever's on my mind. And so maybe that the record definitely has a little bit more of that in it, because that's more natural for me to do that. So it's kind of like going back to the normal. I think the record is really fresh and modern because of like going in and doing it so fast. Like, after I had Kingston, I thought that I was pretty much close to being finished, but little did I know that I would write like a lot more songs. And it was like a marathon. Like, I went in and it was like, I ended up writing, you know, Now That You Got It. I'm trying to think of all the ones that Early Winter. I went in with Tim from Keen, and we ended up writing like 4 songs together, and he is amazing.
He said, I read some stuff from him that said that within 10 minutes of that session you were crying. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Well, I probably was crying because he is incredible, and the chords that it's different to go into a session and sit at a piano and have this like incredible like Superman writer like write this. I call him like the Clark Kent of like songwriting, because he's kind of humble and sweet, and he has his glasses on, and then he kind of takes them off, and he's like really cute and like really amazingly talented and writes these incredible goosebump songs. And yeah, he played these chords, and it's like as soon as he played it, I knew what I wanted to write. And it was very emotional, and I have to say that probably I was still very hormonal. I just had the baby,
Right.
But I'm not going to discount the fact that it was really, you know, it was just a really special kind of experience with him, you know, because I hadn't really done that kind of writing in a while. It was always like these tracks, you know, so.
So given the idea that maybe it is sort of an emotional experience for you making records and collaborating with other people, then what is it, maybe this doesn't happen in real life, but what is a Gavin and Gwen sort of listening session like? Like when you're playing the album for him, or when you guys are talking about the stuff that's going on that inspired the tracks?
Well, I mean, we definitely play our stuff for each other all the time. You know, we're always in the studio at the same time and coming back and playing each other's songs. And I mean, it's pretty like, how do you say it? I don't know, you just play the song for him. And
Like a musical sounding board?
Yeah, he actually helped me with some of the words on some of the songs. Because I remember there was a couple tracks where I was like running out of time, like, you gotta help me, you know, kind of one of those kind of things. And he's like so talented, he could just come with stuff really easy. And sometimes he'll do things like he'll just give me like tons of words, but then, you know, I don't really collaborate with him very often. It's like always, we just don't do it. I don't know why, but this time I was like, okay, let's do it together, you know, but end up using a couple lines. He's really amazing at that kind of stuff, so.
That's really cool, though. I think you're lucky to have that, because not a lot of relationships I don't think are strong enough, because there would be sort of like, when you both do the same thing, there might be jealousy issues or competitive issues.
I think we look at it more like we're on the same team, so it's like, you know, either one of us wins, we both win, so.
Oh, that's so
yeah.
sweet.
Well, I mean, well, we're married. What else are we going to do?
But some people, even when they're married, I guess they don't sort of learn those lessons. That's great for you guys, though. I want to talk to you about a different sort of element. A lot of your songs have to do with sort of like the idea of the fantastic and those sort of fantasy elements. So most people would think that you're a woman who has everything you could ever want, but
I have a lot of good stuff.
what is it that you fantasize about? Does fantasy enter your world?
I'm always, you know, it is amazing to me that like I've got to do so many incredible things in my life. Obviously, like a song like Orange County Girl was written because I just was flying to Miami thinking back to like where I come from and like how did I get here? Like it's really extraordinary, you know. I don't, for a minute, you don't get used to it and you don't forget like how, like it feels like incredible, you know what I mean? So I think about those things a lot, but I guess you never get tired of being creative. I never get tired of being creative, and I'm always inspired, and I guess that's what kind of drives me to keep wanting to make records and push myself. I mean, like making albums for me is really difficult. It's not like I go and just like it's easy. I go in and I have to like get all worked up about, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to think of anything, and I have to go in and work with these really talented people, and they're gonna totally upstage me, and you know, I'm not gonna be as good as they think I might be, and you know what I mean? All these things come into play with the whole, it's torturous for me. I don't really enjoy the process, but when the song is written, it's just so inspiring, and I guess I always want more of that. Also, I think it's really inspiring, like just feeling the love, you know, it's addictive, like the success and like people reacting to the music and all those things. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that stuff really feels good, and I guess that is what kind of drives me and inspires me. Even though I keep having like great things happen, I keep wanting more. Greedy, I guess, is it called? I don't know. Driven, inspired.
I want to talk to you about Kingston a little bit. So you told us before in interviews that you were hoping that having children would save you from your vanity.
Nope, it didn't work. Didn't work. Yeah, I definitely thought that, but I think there's something in me now, like everyone asks me, like, has it changed you? And I don't feel like it really has changed me as a person, but it just makes my life like so much more fun and just more, there's more depth to my life, like just so much to look forward to with him. And I just think about like, I guess in the future he will save me, because it's like there's nothing else that really is going to matter as much as him, you know what I mean? So there's always that kind of safety and that love that you have. So obviously it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me, and it's just magic. It's hard to really put words into like how great it is or how you feel about it, because it's such a miracle, you know? Like the idea that like 6 months ago he was sitting in my belly is just, what? Like how am I supposed to, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then has it changed the way that you look at the entertainment industry or what it is that you do for a living?
Not really. I mean, I just feel very lucky to be able to do what I do, you know what I mean? Make music and then get all dressed up and do videos and like do artwork and design clothes, and all those things are just creative, fun things. I know it's not going to last forever. I'm just trying to enjoy every drop and minute while I have it. But I don't think Kingston really changed that. I was really worried. I didn't know how he was going to fit into the whole thing, and if I would be like too selfish and like caught up in everything that I wouldn't be able to like spend enough time. But
He's here, though, right?
he's right
like
there. He's sleeping right there. He's right there. And he's just so cool. He just comes with me everywhere. He hangs out. I'd say it's like every day he gets more of an attitude. Like on the plane over here, woo!
Crying, screaming.
He was like, I don't really want to sit here right now again on the plane, but he's really fun, and everybody likes hanging out with me because he's always around me.
I want to ask you, switch gears for a minute. When was the last time that you performed or sang a No Doubt song?
Well, we did a greatest hits tour kind of right before I did the last record, and it was magic. I mean, putting that that whole record out was kind of magical. We did a song, It's My Life, which was a cover, and we went out on tour and did, I don't know how many shows, like 40 shows or something, and it was one of the best tours we've ever done because you get out there and you have so many singles. I mean, the whole show was singles, so basically every single song is a song that everyone can sing to.
That must feel really
It's
good.
crazy. It feels like this. It's like, oh, you like that song? Just a girl. You like that song? Don't speak. You like that song? You know, It's My Life. It's like one after another, so it's pretty magical to look out, and we played these kind of outdoor sheds and just see like people forever just singing the songs, and it's like all different kinds of people and all ages, and it's amazing. So hopefully, you know, we'll get to do it again.
When do you miss the guys and the band the most?
I thought, you know, putting the last record out, I was pretty freaked out putting it out, like the first, you know, doing the first interviews without those guys, and then the first couple of times performing was like,
'Cause you're all
wait,
alone.
well, I have the Harajuku girls, so that's, you know, it's a whole different energy. It's like amazing for me to be able to experience female energy.
Are
for
they back on this tour?
Yeah, they're going to be on the tour. They're incredible dancers. They're great girls. They have amazing personalities, and they're just hilarious. They're hilarious. So I never really spent a lot of time with like traveling with girls. You know, I have been surrounded by stinky boys my entire life. So
No more
and now I have
issues.
stinky girls surrounding me. But no, it's been a fun kind of like experience to be around them and stuff like that. But definitely. The one thing that's, I would probably miss them more if it wasn't for Tony being so involved in this last couple records. He actually has 3 tracks on this album. One of my favorite songs off the record, 4 in the Morning, is a song I did with Tony, and kind of watched him grow as a producer. And you know, it's really weird to work with somebody that you've known your whole life, and then like they're like trying to suddenly like produce your vocal and like do it again, you're like, what? You know, but it was he's really talented, and so he's been really involved. So in a way, I don't feel like, for me personally, it doesn't feel like I'm as far away from those guys as maybe it looks. Do you know what I mean? So.
And so are you guys working on a new record?
We talk about it, and I kind of feel like I'm on the yellow brick road back to the No Doubt world. I feel like this album touches on that world a little bit with some of the melodies on like a song like Sweet Escape, or like, I don't know, just certain, also like, you know, we were talking about the kind of emotional side of this record, just gets me, and also like the kind of chord progressions on the album. It's funny because the album Wind It Up is like the first single, and obviously it's totally to the left, and like you have to taste it a few times before you realize, whoa, this song is pretty addictive, you know. But it's not really representative of the whole album. There's so much more on this album. It's like a lot more kind of real kind of songwriter songs where you have choruses and bridges, and so.
But it's funny when we talk about the sound of music, but there's at least like 7 Von Trapp children. How many are in your future? How many more?
I don't know. Obviously I'm the type of person that wants more of everything once I get it. So I want some more little babies, but I feel like it's not really up to me. It's kind of like a miracle, a blessing. So whatever I get like blessed with, we'll see.
If it happens, it happens. That's
Mhm.
the best way to look at it,
Yeah.
definitely. The album feels, I don't want to say easier to listen to, but really there is a lot of depth to it, and just feels really chill. It feels really comfortable. Did you feel a lot more comfortable this time around?
I think it was just such a different journey. You know, the last record was like this epiphany of like inspiration, and like I had such a clear idea of what I wanted. Like I wanted this 80s dance inspired album. I knew exactly the melodies. I knew exactly everything about it, including the Harajuku girls, like the look, everything. And this time it wasn't like that. There was no direction. It was kind of spaced out over these, you know, before Kingston, during Kingston, after Kingston. You know, it's like it's a really weird time to be writing songs with that whole thing going on in my life. And then also you know, the experience of going with producers and doing that kind of circuit, which is like coming from that rock world of being in a band, is so bizarre when you first experience it, going in with these different producers. Like, I don't know, it's a very weird thing, but I kind of got used to that. Like, I know how to walk in and just meet someone for the first time and write a song with them. And so, yeah, I guess I was a lot more comfortable.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know if you have any fond memories from Gwen Stefani's 30+ year career. And don't forget, her new album Bouquet is out now. See you guys in the next MuchVault episode.